It's all about the journey. It's all about the journey, baby. Ain't nothing changed but the weather.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Hey Shooter Podcast. I'm your host, Sanati, and today I'm joined by Lerato.
Hello, hello.
Maude, Kapodisimelo.
Hey.
Either or.
And Ntolo, Colette.
Hi.
You guys have so many names. I don't know which one to go with. Any name.
Chi, you know.
Ichi, any name. Anyways, how you guys doing?
We're good and you?
Good.
I'm
Doing
good.
good.
We're alive.
Yeah. I'm good, hey.
Considering everything.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Ne? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this morning, funny enough, I think there's something in the air. This morning I went to Sorbet. So the lady, as she's, helping me out more, she starts talking about, I need to, do I have a husband in? I'm like, no. She's like, I need to start praying for him. And
The hell?
and I'm like, I'm actually going to be talking about all of this today,
It was a sign. It's a sign.
It's a sign, And when people will be telling me about their prenups and what they chose to do. So I was like, you know what? Clearly there's a sign in the heavens, and I need to get myself educated before I get there, or when I get there, God willing. So I was like, you know what? I think the best place are my sisters and people that I grew up with. So you guys tell me what is going on in this whole marriage.
What is going wrong?
Girl,
I did not mean to say that. What is going on in this marriage institution? So yeah, first I'd like to hear from you guys. Like, what is marriage to you? What is it? Colette, you could go first.
I was gonna say Lerato.
I was praying someone else would go before me.
I think it's just two people who are trying to work really good together and communicate well. People that have always loved each other, evolving together. Yeah, I think that's the best description for me for the last, since I'm gonna have my 4-year anniversary. But I think it's that evolving together. It's not roses and flowers and chocolates every day, but it's fun, and it's about communication and having fun. With that guy on Ojolali, So, yeah, with your person. Yeah, that's marriage for me. That's the shortest term I could come up with.
Yeah. And for you, Lerato?
Like I always say that marriage is different for everyone, and what it means is also very different for everyone, because now we come up from different backgrounds altogether. And so for me, marriage is really about love. It's about friendship and partnership as well. And why I say that, but with love being like the main thing. So partnership, like in any partnership, work or whatever partnership, is very difficult. You go through like really tough decisions and things of that nature. And so the love really just like holds you guys together throughout those tough times and those tough decisions. And friendship, because you can't be married to someone you're not friends with. Like, you guys have to have a friendship aspect. More like you guys are ratchet together. You guys can drink together. You guys can group together. Yo, dog. You gotta have that communication with the person you're with. So for me, love is really just about, it can be a lot of other things, but for me, we need to be friends. We need to love each other, and we need to understand that it is a partnership, all in all.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. And for you, Maude?
Wow. I would say my definition of marriage has definitely changed throughout the years. Well, I've been married for now 3 going to 4 years. And before marriage, I would define it completely differently to when I started and we joined the institution, and a year later, and now 3 years later, you know. But the one thing that I say is a constant for me is, I think I told you this last week or the week before, that I use an analogy when people ask me about relationships, and I use colors to describe what marriage means to me. And
oh wow, yeah.
for me, it means like the color blue describes what marriage is for me. It's peaceful, and it's very, I won't say not passionate, but more than anything, I would advise anyone that goes into marriage to go with someone that gives you a lot of peace, because you can't spend the rest of your life with someone that just stresses you out all the time, you know. So, for me, that's the main, that's the description I use for marriage till today. The other aspects, they always change. Love is not always as, you know.
It really is there. Not. It's not.
The love is not always there. Everything is upside down sometimes, and in and out. Girl, it's you know, it's a lot. So the one thing I would say that my husband gives me is peace. That's how I would describe marriage.
Nice. And another interesting thing, what I love about all of you is that you're all Basotho women, but you all married into different cultures. But except for
we like things. We like things. That's
And now another thing I've noticed, even if as a Mosotho woman you marry a Mosotho man, there's so many new things you're learning, because it's not like as you're growing you're these things. So once you're a wife, where it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Only once you get there are you taught these things. So
that's true.
For like interest's sake, I'd like to know, because I know, Colette, you are married into another Mosotho family, right? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And then Maude Umxhosa, ne?
Girl.
Lerato, you're Zulu now.
Hey.
So I just want to hear, actually, let's start from your side of the family. What were the proceedings when it came to, now you're getting married, and then your husband's side, it was also something different. Maude, you can go first.
When we got married, I had my own plan. Obviously, I was like, nah, I don't want a white wedding. I just want to go to the traditional and keep it moving, you know? So we need a proper send-off for you. We need, you know, the whole family to come together, and you can't just make decisions by yourself. This is not you getting married, it's two families coming together. So, I lost that battle. We got married and had a beautiful wedding. Had a baby right after. And on his side of the family, that's where we had the traditional wedding. And I would say the main difference for me was how my family came together for our wedding, right? And on his side of the family, he was basically the only person, especially financially. I'm not saying anyone should help, you know, but he didn't get any support from anyone, and he basically planned the wedding and executed it by himself. So that was the main difference. I'm not sure if it's culturally that's how we do things, but I received like a lot of support from my family. And he basically received support from me.
Did he know?
My family.
I think our age, we don't really know half of what is going on. So did you know, these are the customs, you have to do this and bring, I don't know, 20 sheep to be slaughtered after they dance? Like, did you know what was going on?
No. We had a friend. First with the lobola negotiations, we obviously didn't know a thing. We had my mom's uncle is Xhosa. So he had to come in and basically take over all the proceedings. And because my family give us so, so, so and then he was a Transkei, so no one can hear what that one's saying. It was a mess. So yeah, we needed someone that could come in and help and sort of guide us into how to do things. And on his side of the family, he also didn't know a lot. He had an uncle that actually helped us, and one of his best friends is very good at traditional things. And especially weddings. So he came in and he helped us know this is how you do this is how you do that. And his girlfriend at the time actually helped me with the clothes that I need to wear because I didn't know anything. I needed to bring my own clothing. Now dress like a makoti that side. I didn't know it
You
even
said
get
whose
those
girlfriend? Whose girlfriend? The best friend's
girlfriend.
Okay.
Not your husband's girlfriend, right?
No, what? His best friend's girlfriend. What's wrong with you guys?
Okay.
You
Didn't clarify.
Woo!
Yeah, so we really didn't know much.
Yeah.
We basically did what we could and basically. So we needed guidance from the elders and their friends that are from there,
Yeah. And I like that you and Colette are sisters. So I'm thinking maybe your family by then necessarily they knew what they were doing, because with Colette that's when the learning was done, and now with you we already know what's going on and all of that. So for you, Colette, how did it go? Like,
but now we broke every single rule that was ever written about, from Lobola negotiations to everything. We broke every single rule. My mom was in the meeting. When they were negotiating. My mom, I told them like, I'm like, my relationship with Morena, so I need you to be there so that you can speak for me. I need someone who's going to speak for me, not speak for me or speak about me. So I told her everything. This is the amount according to his budget, according to Pocket High. So don't Skaramfa numbers are ridiculous because we still need to have a life after this. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
I set my parents down. I was like, you all need to remember that. And then from that, we welcome Amagena Haye. That's a traditional thing. Come and welcome. Our wedding, we were like, we are making the rules. There's going to be X amount of people that from each family, everybody can invite. I don't have a lot of friends. My friends are family. So family was, for me, was like 100% of everybody that I invited from Morena. He has a larger group of friends. So we invited everyone that we could. Even in the beginning, we didn't know how everything was supposed to be done. So I had a dream. I was like, okay, fine, I need to do a wedding that I've never ever dreamt of ever getting married, but I was like, so I think I have a dream now. And we did everything that we thought we wanted, and we were happy with it. We were happy with it. For now, I always tell people who every time we get a party, it's because I want everybody to come together. I want people to gather and have a good time. That's the main reason to throw anything. It's because I want everybody to be together and for us to just have a good time. And if we have a good time, everything is done. The only thing that I was not happy with was the morning after, when I was told, we have to be high at 7 a.m. Hannah, what is it? No, I was so upset. I was the only thing that really, really upset, because Hannah, after your wedding, you sleep late. Because, well, it's your first time with your husband, and people hire about it. In Binoni from
only matrimony
7 a.m. So when we got there, nobody was prepared. We were early. From our wedding to the thing, everybody's saying, my family, we were early. Everybody's like, no, everybody's eating breakfast. I'm like, but how come we are early? But
we are the guests of
like kind of frustrated me. And then because we did our wedding on, was it on Thursday, ne? It was on Friday. Was Friday, it was on a Friday. Then the following day, because the traditional Habumugain, the Saturday. And then the Habumugain a Sunday. Monday we left and we went for honeymoon. So we did everything. And I remember his friends were like, you guys are breaking all the rules. Colette and Lerato welcome for a number of days or 2 weeks or something. And I was like, hell no, my wife is not going to stay. If And the nice thing also was from his side, he has older cousins who already married. So they advised me, well, no, Magana, you must stand up for your wife. You must be there for your wife. The family does not have full say of, okay, Colette needs to do this or doesn't have to do this. If you and you guys don't feel comfortable with it, don't go ahead with it. So that's what I'm saying. We broke every single rule when it comes to tradition. But for me, non-agenda tradition is very important. And I think as a Black woman, as a Black person, we've kind of neglected tradition over other things. I'm not going to say what, and I'm not going to be in that topic right now because that's not where we are. But we've kind of put our tradition on the back burner. Or we like, okay, no, I don't like this because it contradicts my religious beliefs or whatever. But as Black people, this is who we are. We need to be proud of who we are because nobody's going to be proud of us if we don't love ourselves. So, yeah, tradition is very important. So, yeah, I don't know. If I could do it differently, maybe that's a traditional wedding fail. But yeah, no, it was nice. Everything happened really, really fast. So I think maybe maybe Colette pregnant because we met in less than 2 years. We were welcoming. Everything was already done. And then, Lerato, and then, you know, and then I only fell pregnant 2 years in the marriage.
Congratulations.
And for you, Lerato, I feel like your story.
The reason why I'm giving her that look is because, girl, I was 8 months pregnant when we got married.
Yeah.
So there was just like no way to like hide or I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And also, I think I moved in with my husband. Well, this was before we got married, but literally 3 weeks of dating, we moved in together.
What?
And then by the time we hit 1 year anniversary, I was like already pregnant.
Wow.
But yeah, okay. So what happened for us is that my husband had met my mom one time, I think, and then the next time I spoke to her, I was like, oh, by the way, like I'm pregnant. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. And then and also then she was like, okay, you guys are pregnant. What's the next step? And so for me, I didn't want to get married at all. Like in my life, I didn't plan on marriage. I didn't want to be married. I'd honestly never seen like a couple that I was like, yo, guys, these people are what marriage is. These are goals for marriage. You know what I mean? Because like with your aunts and your uncles, like, yeah, they're married, but you know your uncle, your uncle could be creeping on the low, or your aunt is just living her best life and she's not happy in the marriage either. So I was like, guys, clearly marriage is not something I should enter into. Y'all look unhappy. Everybody is so sad in a marriage. And so so my husband was the one who was like, okay, dude, you're pregnant. We are getting married. And I was like, I don't know. Shouldn't I? But eventually, because of how much I really did love my husband, I was like, okay, cool, no, let's get married. So then I was in my final year of exams and I was also pregnant. And so there was just not a lot of time because we live in Joburg, but my home is in Lesotho. So the traveling and all that stuff was not always so convenient. So we did like a mashup of everything in one. So we went home. I went home a couple of days before, and then the older women in my family then did holaela, just to like be like, girl, you are getting married, a wife must be so and so and so, and as you must represent us well.
What happens there? Do they also give you tips more in the bedroom, like double?
depending on how your family is, hey, they really do. For me, I'm really cool with my family. They didn't say you must do doggy style, or you must face that way or that way. But there was that thing of like, you must satisfy your husband.
Hey.
So I was like, okay, I get what you guys are
Very
saying,
obvious.
but
I mean,
yeah, yeah. And so we did that, and then my husband and I think like 3 uncles and his mom then came home, and then we did the lobola negotiations. What I was shocked at was that my husband wasn't allowed in the negotiations. So that's what I was like, how can people that don't really know me like come and negotiate on our behalf? That was one of the most shocking things for me. Halin Tsebi, you get what I mean? And at the same time, you don't know hore dipokoto tsa rona di dutse jwang. So I had already had that talk with my mom. I was like, y'all better not be naming the million in there, because I'm pregnant. We're about to have this baby. And so you guys need to understand what it is. We still need to have a life, like the other lady said, we still need to have a life after this. And so then they did the negotiations, and then with the Zulu culture, then there's like a gift giving. So it's when the groom's family then gives gifts to the Makoti's family, and then after that there's the grocery giving. So then the bride's family or the bride herself now needs to buy groceries for her groom's family. And then after that, you guys can now do the wedding, or you can be married. And so then we did those things. I didn't buy groceries because I'd been knowing the family and I'd been buying groceries. So I was like, hold up with that one. Hold up. I've been doing that one. So then that's what we did. And after that, boom, bam, mada boom, we were married. I did not have a white wedding because I felt like I didn't have to. I didn't have to. Looking back now, I'm not disappointed, but maybe it's something I would like to do, just to call all my friends together, because it was only us as a family who were there for that. So I would just maybe like to have like that white wedding, or like that modern traditional wedding thing, just so that I can have my friends around as well, so that they can also celebrate in our love. But other than that, I'm happy with how everything went down. I was too heavy to really make too many decisions. So I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like we went through more or less the same situation, because I was also heavily pregnant at my white wedding and my traditional wedding. Honestly, I couldn't wait for it to end, and I feel like I need a do-over. Like I need a you know?
Yeah.
But I can relate to a lot of the things that you're saying, especially the whole Umembeso thing, the gift giving, and how the Ngunis do their thing. And with the groceries that they asked you, Rona, they actually asked me to revamp our bedroom. So I was required to buy a new bed, a new, what's that thing? They call it a kist.
Yes, you need to buy
all
a
your
kist.
parts in there, everything that's yours. You're not supposed to use the same utensils and cutlery as everyone in the house.
Yes.
You have your own everything, basically. Your own plates, your own
So
iron, your own. Hey?
This is the home.
Yes, at your husband's home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have your own kist with your own everything. So you need to buy that kist as well. You need to buy a new bed, because you cannot sleep in the same bed as you guys slept when you were single.
Oh, okay, that one's a bit far-fetched. Okay.
That's really interesting.
But we actually used the same bed, because the bed was new. We couldn't go buy a new bed. We bought a new bed.
Just change the
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. There are a lot of requirements that are draining to a certain degree.
That are honestly not for you as a couple, but it feels like it's for the family.
Yeah.
It's really not for you, it's for the family. And sometimes it gets so frustrating because we are young. So sometimes maybe you're starting out in your career, or you guys really don't have that much money. So now it's just like, guys, you guys need to understand where we are and what we're about. And also maybe some things are just really not the things you guys want to do, or it's not stuff that you care for, like buying body keys.
They're not necessary.
For what?
I go there once a year. All my things are there. My plates,
Imagine.
No, so when you're there, you use that one plate, you sleep in your plate.
I don't, because his family is not really like that, you know?
Yeah.
They don't exclude me.
Yeah.
But I know most families do. They're like, Makoti, she's here, so she needs to use her own things. You're not supposed to go into your parents-in-law's bedroom because of Makoti.
Girl.
Now, speaking of that, were there any culture shocks when you got married into? Because I mean, even if it's not culture-wise, you being in a new family, you know, they do things differently from the way that you used to do things. So are there things that you're like, how these people do this and this and this? I had no idea this was a normal.
Hey.
Like, are there anything?
So like guys, like honestly, so all my ideas of love and marriage honestly do come from my mother. And by the time I was like 3 months old, my biological parents had separated. I never knew my dad. And then by the time I think about 2, well, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I know, I don't remember. But by the time I was 2, my mom had entered into a relationship with a white man until I was, I think, about 6 or 7. And then when he then decided to move back to Europe, my mom was single for about 2-3 years, and then she got married this time. And so for me, so it was just a lot of like ideas of what it is and what love should be like. And so I had a little bit of what I thought, and then the reality started to hit when I now had to move in and like see my husband's family often enough. One of the things was that the males in the Zulu culture are very dominant. You can't do certain things are not done without them. Like for example, like lobola stuff, obviously they had to be there for that. But even like stuff like naming our son, they kind of had to be told first and then approve his name. And I'm like, sorry, approve my son, the one I'm carrying and manufacturing, or
Guys, there's a person in the room. They go away.
You know what I mean? So that was shocking for me, because I come from a family that has women and males, I think, in an equal balance. But then my uncles never exclude the women from anything really. There are stuff that maybe like now we have our relatives and like the larger family that yes, they do as males, but in the general sense, they don't really exclude women from things. And so that was a bit of a like oh, okay, I'm gonna sit down in the other room right now. Okay. I can't really make that decision with you. Okay, that's chill. So that was that for me. And I guess the respect factor that you have to have for males in the family, whether they deserve the respect or not, you must respect, because Kinta, he's the man in the family. So I was like, this is a little bit tricky for me, because in my family, respect is earned, whether male or female. You need to have your own. Like you need to kind of like have a place in your family. And so my family is very close knit. We know everything about whomever. But in my husband's family, like you're kind of alone. Like you guys are your own entity, your own separate entity. And so for me, it was a little bit difficult, because now I wasn't sure if they didn't like me, or was that just how things operate within their family. And so I started to learn that it's not even that they're very loving and kind people. It's just that they're not as close-knit as my own family was. Yeah.
And for you, Maude, any culture shocks? Actually, no. Let me start with Colette because I feel like you went from same to same. So.
Yeah. Not for me. I think Lerato touched on a couple. I don't even think it's about different cultures. I think it's about blackness. All of us, we experience the same things there. How do I handle you go into another family and you see things? This is because now with my dad, I speak with my dad. Like we speak about anything, about finance, about ideas, about anything, except for who I'm dating before I got married. And more than a lot, child, but you can't tell Didi stuff like that. You can't speak to your dad about you think you're pregnant or you know. And I think for me, the shocking part was it's not even a big thing, but for me, it's like we need to be like just my husband and his siblings and his parents. I feel like there's still the thing elekanya communicating with just that communication. I grew up in a household where I can tell off my sister. I can tell my mom, Mommy, I think you were wrong, A, B, C, D, and she'll need to apologize. And I'll do the same with my dad. Well, when my dad, we taught him how to be like, you need to say sorry, you need to say please, you need to knock, even if it's your house. You need to knock. That's, you have to respect me. It's not even about I'm disrespecting my dad, but I think how you're into black families, you start seeing these things that men are superior than women, and then I don't understand that because my dad would be like, it's in America, no, let my kids eat it, I'll eat whatever. So for me, it's those little things, not even just kind of getting into my present family right now. It's just that thing how you're into black families, you see that's how women are treated a certain way compared to men. That shocks me every single day in every single family. It's a shocking thing for me. Well, me, it was from Mosotho to Mosotho, so I got my husband's parents, my parents now, Badula in the suburbs, so like I said, a lot of things were not very traditional, still not traditional. You guys are okay, but there's other influence, another trouble, or there's issues.
And also even people's energies and vibrations can just be so wrong. Like some people legit don't wish you well. Or they just don't like you. Like they just don't like you. And
for no reason.
You try so hard to be understanding and to be kind. But there and you just like, I will drag you, but because I'm respecting the man I'm with as well, I have to now hold myself, but I will drag you, like I will drag you. I will drag you, but it is what it is.
My God, there's something on the work I know happy. Someone wanted to name. Did they name your child?
No, they accepted the name, but either way, it was just the fact that I had to send it. I had to run it through them. So it's like, what if they rejected? Like,
what if
I don't like the name? Like you legit name your child out of a feeling or something.
That connection.
That connection. So the fact that now maybe Mutremung has to say, is like, it's humbling. I think it's humbling. Yeah, it's humbling. So you just now need to, and also like, families are different. And also even your husband's character as well. Because sometimes we find that you marry into a family and it's one in that family. Your husband just takes everything. How he's married to you at the end of the day. And sometimes it can be very hurtful to now be in a situation where this is the man I married though. This is who's this? You're an ass. You're an ass.
And the funniest thing, not even funny, but something Enzeki realized during this quarantine was, well, TikTok is like my best friend right now. I love you. TikTok is a friend right now to me. And they speak, I'm following a couple of people that speak about issues about when you get married, your in-laws, how they treat you. Some people say they treated them well, and all these issues. And I remember there's my husband has like older friends that have been married for 20 years and stuff like that. And I remember one couple advised us and said, when you guys get married, it's no longer about Colette, you guys have to start your own little tribe or your own community.
That's true.
What you guys want to do for your family to make sure that you guys are good. Because then the conflicts are going to come. And that's when you start noticing, okay, our men need to also accept, we are going to teach them something new.
Thank you.
That's a lot of stuff. And when sometimes how about correct, or you tell them, no, I don't think you should do this. Let's rather do it like this, or let's you are imposing or you are controlling them. Some men would say you're controlling them. And I am we are modern. We need to be able to voice ourselves, and you need to listen. I have the best interest for you, and I'll never do anything to harm you or to break you. I am behind you all the way.
One thing that I always say is to my husband, I'm like, you are not married to your mother or the women of This is a whole new ball game. You have to up your game, brother. We have time for this. Anybody get that?
Very true. And I have a friend of mine. She's Vicky, and she got married to a Xhosa man. So they'd been dating for a long time, and then they recently got married. So I was talking to her, and I was like, okay, so how is it? She's like, it's great because I'm married to my best friend, you know. But culture shock is on another level. Like she was in things like having to, every time she goes home to the Eastern Cape, she has to wake up at 5 in the morning, and she's in the kitchen cooking, and even the food that they cook, like it's not just it's bowl, muto, that type of food, like in the, I don't even know how to put, like, you know, and you know, as if you're cooking for but so she's like that happens. And also there's this thing that you don't hang around the men, you know, as women. Kitchen or like, you know, doing something, you don't just go chill with the men and now you're chilling with your husband, you know. And she'd do that because, I mean, this is her friend. And she even down to like the way she had to dress, you know. I think the different patterns mean different things, and she had no idea, and no one was teaching her all of this because Anna, and she's never been exposed to this culture, you know. And before people are quick to be offended that this person is not doing 1, 2, 3, 4. But now,
and then how about rude?
You know,
that's messed up.
Yeah, so like Maude, since you're married like into a really Xhosa family, all the way from the Eastern Cape, is it?
Sky.
That's deep. That's like deep.
Like there.
So like, have you had like such shocks where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on, and I feel like there's no one helping me? Because I feel like even the men, they don't really know what's going on in their cultures. Like when it comes to what women don't really know, okay, this is what happens. So there's only so much you can help with.
I feel like that has been our struggle for the past couple of years as a couple. First of all, for me, it was the language thing. I can speak, but for them, it's not like, you know, our person that's like, we brush it over with a little bit of butter and sugar. For them, it's like the deep, raw, you know? So I struggled a lot with that.
Look at your friend in the background.
And the other thing that we honestly always, I won't say fight about this, always like a tug of war about it, is the attire. And I'm like, when you met me, you knew hey, you know, in December, guys. Now I'm here with my long skirt, my long shirt, a duke, black duke throughout my December holidays. So I'm like, for me, I'm not saying Hore, your culture is wrong, but I feel like it's oppressing me. You know, this is not me. I understand Hore, I sacrifice for 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. But I can't be wearing long skirts all the time. I was telling him, Hore, I thought before we got married, Hore, Makotis wear those things for like 6 months. You know, after the family has already accepted you, then Oshap. But I only found out afterwards, that's my attire for the rest of my life.
Really?
For as long as I go to his family, I have to dress like that. So,
my God.
So for me, so he's like, no, they also have the attire when they go, like you can't go without your jacket. I'm like, but when I'm in your parents' house, you can wear whatever you want. I can't do the same. Because even when we come to my parents' house, you wear whatever you want. There are no rules. Why are there rules for me as a woman? You know, I feel like you're pressing me. And he honestly agrees with what I always say, culture, especially our Black cultures. Are very women, you know? And the one thing that was actually a shock for me when I transitioned was how, I don't want to say, okay, how like Xhosa women are expected to be strong, you know? From the thing, when there's anything happening at home, earlier than everyone else, you're expected to carry those heavy pots. You are expected to cater to everyone's needs.
And your kids.
At this point, I remember they had a function at home. I think it was a funeral. It was a funeral, and I had just had Klumi, my first child. And one of the aunts was like, where's your wife? You know? And I was here in Joburg. And he's like, no, she's at home. We just had a baby, you know, trying to cover up for me. And she's like, no, we don't care that your wife just had a baby. You need to come here.
Guys,
First of all, I'm in the worst pain, you know, because I had cesarean section. So now, how am I going to be there?
Guys,
washing dishes, doing this, and the girls, they do that. They don't care. You just had a baby. You need to wake up and do things. So now, I'm a rebel. I don't want to lie, and I fight things, you know. But I can only fight to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I need someone to stand for me and fight with me. You know? So as much as you want your husband to fight with you, you guys are trying to change the narrative and you're trying to rebel against our culture. And
what did you give him?
And I was saying to him yesterday, as much as when they go to the mountains and all those things, after that they have that whole attire they have to wear and stuff. So for Bona, they grew up idolizing that. They're like, I want to do this, you know. And as much as the girls as well, they're like, I want to be a makoti. For us, I didn't grow up like that. So I don't want to do that. I just want to be married and be happy, you know.
Yes.
And now, do you think if you actually understood why it's important to wear a long skirt or why it's important to wake up at 6 a.m., like where did
I asked those questions? I've asked those, and honestly, the answers for me, they're not satisfactory. I'm disappointed. Like, so I was like, why do I have to cover up? Why am I covering up? You cover up in. They're like, no, there are a lot of men here, so they can't see your my ankles.
Control your damn eyes.
What are my ankles doing to you?
Exactly.
the ankles?
If your ankles are doing something to you, there's something messed up with you.
There's something wrong with you.
And with me. It's the same thing with the church. The same thing as the church.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
Which I have issues with.
I mean, you can already go into it because now also now that you guys have families, you are deciding, okay, hey cutie. You are deciding, okay, how can I put it? Because, okay, not my assumption is you're probably telling yourself, you know what, I'm just going to my husband's home for like maybe 5 days out of a year. For those 5 days they want me to do, after that I'm going to go back to my house when I have where I can set my own rules and have my own cultural whatever's or religion or whatever. So do you have a different setup in your home, or you and your husband have agreed on, okay, this is what we're going to do? Or does he expect you to be that woman who's in the kitchen because that's how, you know, he grew up seeing, okay, the women are always in the kitchen, the women are always doing what, like, how was that?
Nah, in the hell no. I am not that woman. I will never be that woman, and I do not accept it.
Yeah.
Because I know my mother-in-law is like always cooking. My mother-in-law cooks every single day, which I do not understand. I'm like, there's days where you can
you need to rest.
Yeah, you need to rest. And I don't understand why I want to feel about paying, because I remember in our house you cook. In our house you wash the dishes. In our house you prep the baby, you do everything. Why to show your parents, okay, this is how we live.
Yeah.
And
Progression.
They need to get in with the program. And he does. Then I was like, no, I'm not gonna accept the fact that, okay, no, if it's a Monday or whatever, we are buying takeaways, we are eating takeaways. Okay, that's mince and spaghetti, the quickest meal in the world. Well, but I'm not going to be the woman that's going to stand. I will stand in the kitchen when I choose to stand for hours in the kitchen. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, fine. Now give back our pen. Okay, fine. That's my choice. I choose what and how long I'm going to stand in the kitchen for. So, guys, I'm not that type of person. I don't like it, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Now I remember I won't say it's either it's somewhere out there where you have to bring everybody from your husband to your father-in-law to if he has brothers. But this is like a tray. And I remember I was like, I'm not Colette my brother's, my husband's brother came from Colette Hanyala. Until Colette no then she can choose to do that. If she chooses not to do that, she's not going to do that. And that's when I'm like, Maude Haga, she's a rebel. My husband is a big rebel, and which I'm very grateful for. There's areas where our men need more education and to understand where we are standing. Were on us, not on them.
Yes,
our husbands, they do whatever. They can drink the whole day, they can bride, they can, you know. It's a bride. You spice the meat, you make the salad. The salad. No, that's not okay. They need to understand more. In December, all of us are khatis. So that means
all of us want to have a good time.
You go to work the whole year, guys.
And then you have a child. No one is going through a phase where he is whatever. He's 2 years old. He just turned 2 and whatever. And it's irritating. You know, it's irritating. I love him to death, but there's a moment where it's December, it's hot in Belcom. It's hot. That place is hot.
Yes.
Kitchening for 3 hours, which I don't. There's women going through that where you have to be in the kitchen for 3 hours every single day. You must look good. How much my entertainers, they love people. Those people love people, Shane. And sometimes I'm like, Papa, can we just be as fair? He likes to show me
off. Squad.
I'm like very close to my father-in-law, and he loves people. He loves showing me off. He loves taking me to places like, this is my daughter-in-law. Look at my daughter-in-law. Look at what my daughter-in-law can cook.
Yeah.
But I don't want to cook all of that every time for like more than 5 people.
Yeah.
But I love him. But hey.
A lot of learning and learning has to do.
Yeah. Sure. Like for me personally, I was like we because we had lived together before we got married, there was already that understanding of who I am, what I'm about, what I do and I don't do. So even when we got married, he already knew what my life story was. I cook, I clean, washing it, laundry. I got my days. But like stuff. But there's stuff that I appreciate that he does. Because for me, like I really am a BB homemaker. I don't. It's who I am. I love to cook. My space needs to be clean. And sometimes my husband tries to clean, and I be like, but that corner, that I could have done it better myself. So now I'm like, friend, it's okay. Just do the laundry because that's what you're good at. That's what you're good at. And so there were things that he automatically knew that I was like good for, and there were stuff that he knew he had to do. But as well, I'm not forced into those things. Like now, if I don't cook, it's not a big fight in the house as well. You know what I mean? So now there are stuff that he does that I'm like, okay, that's your department. Say that's your department. I do not wash shoes. Like I cannot. My husband knows that, like, he's the shoe person. Like, my shoes, in order for my shoes to be great when I go out, he's got that department. So for me, I think sometimes as well, like with the Black culture, I feel like a lot of times in Black culture, women have been oppressed. So much so, and to a point where now that like a new generation of women is coming up in the world, it's very difficult for us to, especially to older people, to voice our opinions and to say, no, guys, but you guys have oppressed your own wives, and now my husband is allowing me to be myself, and it's okay because ultimately I'm married to my husband. The marriage and the relationship that I'm praying and working really hard for is the relationship between me and my husband. If one day you guys decide like we are done with you guys, but me and my husband are good, listen, babe, I'm still good with that. Like I'm still fine with that. So for me, the relationship I honestly do work extra hard for is the relationship between me and my husband. The in-laws and whomever else, I really do have such a wonderful relationship with my husband's cousins, because they are all female. So they understand me, we get along, like we're all girls, we're all, in that phase, like we're trying to be women of ourselves, women on our own. And so there's that understanding. Sometimes we do with the aunts and, well, yeah, not really the uncles, because I don't really mess around with them too much, but with the aunts, there will be that thing, women in the house. And I'm like, okay, that's how y'all operate. That's cool for you guys. But then my husband's plating, so I'm gonna make sure the husband I take to my husband is the right plate. You guys may have raised him and watched him, and they always bring up that thing where they want to like do like, I know your husband more than you because we raised him, and it's like, but he's not married to you. That's the thing, like he's not married to you guys. So I know my husband more than you guys, as much as you raised him, and thank you so much for raising a husband for me. But even in the house, I'm still trying to break him. I still need to break down some of the bullshit things that you taught him. Yeah, I'm still trying to break down the bullshit shit that you guys brought up into the marriage that I'm still dealing with. And in the same regard, my husband is also sometimes trying to break down the shit my family taught me. You know what I mean? So for me, in order for my household to remain in a happy space, we need to create a new culture. We need to create a new attitude. We need to create a new way of understanding and communicating with each other. Yeah, and it's our way. And I don't want people, and like that's even another thing where like I can't even ask my other friend who's married on how I should run my house, or how it doesn't need
is like life.
It's a fight as well. It really is a fight. So now you need to also be careful about who you ask for advice or who you bring into your marriage, because sometimes they be giving you bullshit advice. And when you married your husband, you know, in the private zones or whatever, those people were not around. So you guys now need to find what it is for you guys. And also, the relationship you had before you got married, guys, is the relationship. Don't now, when you get married,
You start changing.
when you get married, also, not so now I'm short. I'm short. I get answer usual. How? Like,
Where does it come from?
your husband is just
ANC t-shirt.
Oh my word.
Hey, also about the ANC t-shirt. Where did that come from? Your husband married the bum short girl. Your husband married the girl who, you know, is free and likes to be out. Yes, the responsibility does change now in a marriage. Like, there's just so much more at stake. But all in all, bum short girl is the girl. Is the girl, is the one. So yeah, that's what it is.
And I guess for me, now a lot of what I think marriage is from what I've seen from my parents, from my cousins.
Yes.
And one of the things that I really do admire, say from my parents, is the whole role thing. A man should be the provider and the woman should be the nurturer. Ne? And the way that I've come to understand it is that it doesn't have to be for you to be a man. You have to be earning a lot of money.
Yes.
You can't provide for your family, so now that thing is taken away from you. For you to be, doesn't mean that for you to be a nurturer means that as a woman you have to literally be in the kitchen cooking. You know, there's so many other ways to express that.
And neglecting your career and taking care of your kids.
Exactly. You know, and it's something that I saw from my parents, because there were times that my mom would be the one who's like who's the financial stronghold. You know? And my dad will be helping out in other ways, but I still respect him I still see him as that provider. I still see my mom as
because at the delay, it's because he knew who he was. Nothing to define. So a man who doesn't get defined by certain things will stand strong in whatever position he's in. That's the thing. And every woman wants in a man be strong. And how if you meet certain groups of people who train CEO or whatever, execs or directors of a company, treat it the same way or treat about on the construction site. Do not change yourself or try to fit in or try to look good or try to smell as nice as those people. Because how we say, you're not a strong man. The moment you're not a man, you are a puppet now. Now we are playing puppet shows and nobody wants a puppet in their house. So that's very, very important.
I agree.
Wait, was the question about roles in your house? What? I missed it when there were people here.
Okay, the first question was about I don't know how, the practices or the customs that you have in your own home. And like, okay, what do you say, okay, in my house this is what's gonna go and that's not gonna go, just because somebody else says, okay, according to culture you should be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So the whole role thing somewhat ties into that. So I want to hear from your point of view, like what are the things that you're like, okay, these are standard in my home, and maybe what's your point of view when it comes to like roles? Is it even a thing? Should we even be talking about it?
For me, I don't feel like it should be a thing, you know, because we are in the same house. The house at the end of the day needs to be clean. At the end of the day,
our house.
The kids need to be. You need to make
our kids
do it. You know.
Yeah.
If you are closer to the kid, for instance, you can smell it. Wipe it. You know.
No one. Come. Yeah.
And he's better with that part now. I used to be the main one when they were babies. Now they're taught, and he's taking over, you know?
Yeah.
And that's completely fine by me. I'm happy with that. It's just my comes when we go to the in-laws now, and everyone is complaining, why are chinchangwana? Why is that? Like, excuse me?
Third party members.
That are not
I
always there to support you.
I must cook, I must change nappies, I must watch the kids, I must, like, are you insane? No? So yeah, we don't really have roles in our house. Nobody does this. When you do that, although there are certain things, like Chichi said, that you prefer certain things. Like now I prefer cooking. Honestly, I love it, but I'm not going to clean. That's why from the get-go, I was like, you want to marry me? You know how I grew up. You know, at home we always had someone that helps. So you are going to and pay for a helper that is going to clean. Not to say after me, after you.
After everybody.
I can feel I appreciate you.
Yeah.
No?
Just to like wrap it up, ne? What advice would you give to, I think specifically younger girls, you know? Like for me, I think something that's important would be to have the culture talk before we even get married, you know? But literally, I don't think guys know what's going on in that culture. For one another, just out here, you know?
Living.
Hey, go. He knows that the plate, what it took to actually prepare that food. Yeah, because it's going to be like a thing for them to like, okay, go and find out what happens in the background. So now that you guys are like well within marriage and you have children, what advice would you give Bohona? Because I mean, I don't know, maybe soon.
Okay, I would actually like to give you this one. For me, I think the most important thing as young women or just women in general is that know your standards and don't always back down from your standards.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we, like now someone, because we go from to, so when are you getting married, Miguel?
Yeah, and you're like,
you know what I mean?
When
when was this now okay? You know what I mean? So for me, it's about like knowing yourself and saying, Lerato kapo chichi in the streets. Who are you? Are you comfortable with that person? Are you okay with that person? And then now invite another member into that space. Because sometimes we set standards and expectations for other people that we ourselves are not willing to comply with their standards and their expectations. So for a very quick example, I was telling Sonata the other weekend, I'm like, if your standard is that nkeko wa jola le motho a senang koloi, let that be your standard.
Yeah.
Let that be your standard. Because ninning kai e tlo tswa nthwena ya hore a shimba ha ona le koloi o tsile o skatana ha ona le koloi, like o skatana ha ona le koloi. And now it's like that person, you need to understand that person might be working towards that ambition, or that's not something that defines him as a person or defines the other person. So now you need to now you've hurt that person, you've broken them down. How do they continue the relationship with you at that point? So for me, it's about setting your standard and understanding your standard. But standard is how my person must have a car. Where now because now my person must have a car. But what if their standard for you is also that you must have a car? Also bohloko ha se tsa hore o phaphile le wena o ntso thweka ditafoleng kae empa ha ona le koloi. So like we need to be very much aware of what the standard for our relationship is and what the standard for your partner should be. So that we don't down the line now fight and get divorced. Because small things really do grow into big things. Because now you'll be there. Like 5 years from now could be crazy. Is now like a crazy issue. And now you guys are going into divorce over comment.
On that point, we went for marriage counseling before getting married, right?
Yeah.
And our marriage counselor was like, you guys need to set out your expectations of each other.
Yes.
What are you expecting of this person? And he actually mentioned the car thing. He's like, if 5 years from now, I want my husband to buy me a car. Write that down and speak to him about it.
Yes.
Ask Tony in 5 years to buy you that car that you want, the Range Rover Mugello. I guess
Yes.
you can't even afford it, but that's besides the point.
But my husband must afford it.
My husband must afford it. That's your expectation, and that is fine. But you need to communicate that to him. So Leonard's got, okay, this is what I'm getting myself into, because you can't come back 5 years from now and be like, so now I wanted a man that's gonna buy me a Range Rover. You're being ridiculous. At the end of the day, you married to a human being. You know the struggles of finding a better job, of hustling. You know the struggles. But you expect the man to be your savior.
That's true.
Now for me, I would say it was all of those points about raising are like point on, and also I want to highlight communication.
Amen.
Realness. Be honest, especially about money, because remember spoke about
money is a touchy subject.
We spoke about money. Like we need to speak about the chin. I need to tell you how much I earn right now, not how it's going to be forever. But I also need to know what I'm going to do for it to not to be my forever. But you also need to understand, are you going to be okay with it being my forever?
Honestly, the dating stage, you must open up your books. All the accounting, financial statements, everything must be here. And so you decide from there, who am I marrying? This person has a lot of things. This person has this. You need to know.
I was still speaking. But Manga, that's true. You need to be open about money, because money is a big deal in any relationship, friendship, family relations, whatever it is. Money is a very, very big thing. It's a deal breaker for a lot of people. And it might be uncomfortable for a lot of people. It might be uncomfortable for you, but let's just speak about it. That's it. And if my husband's the kind of person who wants to plan things when something drastic happens, like if an increase or if an increase, then our budget will look different. But I'm a kind of person that says, let's make something so that we have something to attain towards. It's like a vision board for me. So we've kind of compromised and said, okay, on certain things like, okay, how much we can put away towards a certain dream or a certain thing. And let's say vacation. How I say. Yeah, he's a big saver, and now I'm a builder. I like my house to be essential. I want my house to be amazing, and it is sometimes tasty and I would always tell him, if I can't afford it, I'm not going to expect you to afford it for me. I don't have that expectation now when I'm always 100% when I'm doing 2%, which is
that's true. That's
when I sometimes negative in a different way. Let me say I will cook. That's my
contribution.
I'll speak to you through food. And we spoke about the love
language. Yes.
Let's speak about so that you know how to fulfill me, and I know how to not fulfill you, but satisfy you. I know what to touch, which buttons to touch that are going to make you, be happy. And then it should be fun. You should have a lot of fun. And one thing I'm just saying,
and lots of sex.
And you must have fun. Like the way
after you get married, when you get intimate with your man, God is like,
Oh. Okay, now I want to get married.
And have a good time with you. And a little more than too long. The blue, your person needs to keep you calm. Just you shouldn't be able. You shouldn't be calling a person at night. Where are you? How's the phone? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about you. You know those kind of.
And when he says I'm not gonna come back, you're having stress.
You know exactly where he is, and you know the type of person he is.
Yes.
Sorry, on Modern Family, Gloria said to Jay, no, you're the kind of man that will never cheat. And Jay's like, what does that mean? Like, because you don't because you are just
you don't have it in you.
You don't have it in you, so I don't have to be worried about it.
Yeah.
So those are things that.
And that's it. After subscribing to this podcast, please remember to like, comment, and share this episode. Remember, life is all about learning, unlearning, and relearning. Peace and light, beloved.
It's all about the journey. Ain't nothing changed but the weather.